Next up on the call is Mississippi Valley State head coach Karl Morgan. Mississippi Valley State fell to Prairie View 51-14 this past Saturday, and they'll play host this week to Arkansas at Pine Bluff. Good morning, Coach Morgan. Are you with us?
I'm here. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us, Coach. If you will, talk about last week's game and preview Arkansas Pine Bluff.
It was a total domination by Prairie View. I just listened to what Coach comments he had to say about them, and all that's true. Good team offensively. Quarterback's a real good football player. Running backs, receivers are good. And they played extremely well on defense. And it was a deal we were out-coached, outplayed, out-hit it, out-everything. And probably the worst loss in the 4 years that I've been here in terms of score, in terms of domination. They were ready to play. I thought we were too, but we weren't, obviously. And it was a sound defeat, and it's a long bus ride when you get beat 51-14. You got to travel from Houston to Edabina. But we got to move forward. We got Arkansas Pine Bluff defending conference champions coming in, and they're still the defending champions until the end of the year. And so they play competitive football. I remember watching them against Jackson State a couple of weeks ago. They were leading Jackson. Jackson scored right before half and kind of got a little momentum, and it turned into a 40-something to 30-something game that Jackson won. Score was yesterday they lost. I don't know who they lost. I can't remember. I know it was close. And I think it was Southern, I believe. We have to regroup, refocus, recommit, everything, and get ready to play against Pine Bluff. And it's homecoming. Hopefully we'll have a decent crowd there and a good atmosphere and get a chance to win our homecoming game.
All right, the floor is now open for Mississippi Valley State head coach Karl Morgan.
Coach, I see Morrell, Pine Bluff Commercial. Coach, what do you think you guys took a step back in terms of playing against Prairie View?
It was leaps and bounds backwards. I don't know. The game started. It was 7-7 in the first quarter. Then they mounted a drive and made it 14-7. We got the ball on the first play through an interception for a touchdown, 21. Next drive, we fumbled the ball. They got it on the, 30-something yard line and scored again, made it 28-7 at half. And we went in talking about being three scores down, and hopefully we can come back and make a game of it and win the second half. We didn't do that. So, like I said, they were clicking on all cylinders offensively. And they really got after us defensively. This was a team that was giving up 32 points a game defensively, and they shut us down big time. And plus they ran the ball for 200 and something yards, and they threw it for 300 something yards. So they on both sides of the ball. Then they caught us in the end zone with a punt for a safety. So all those factors, all areas of the game. We were soundly beaten, and so we had some guys injured. That's going to be a concern for this week. Our starting quarterback Patrick Ivey was not 100% when he went into the game, so we took him out. He ran the ball one time, got a first down, but he couldn't really run. He has a hamstring problem, so we put Jeremy Collins in, and Jeremy Collins suffered a concussion on the one play. He fumbled after the throw interception for a touchdown. So he was out, and Patrick Ivey had to go back in. And I think we had two more other concussions. So we were soundly defeated. And so we've got some guys living around here, physically and mentally. So we've got to come back and, like I said, regroup, refocus, and recalculate, everything, and get ready to play a team that's looking for a win in Pine Bluff.
Right. So is Ivy your only quarterback going into the UAPB game?
No, we had three. We had Karl Davis, who played a little bit, but we wound up putting Ivy back in the game after Jeremy Collins got hurt because I think limping Patrick Ivy gave us a better chance to be successful.
Gotcha.
And so So Jeremy Collins will probably be out. I know, he was not feeling well on the ride back home, and he's going to be looked at today by the doctors.
Okay. Coach, let's look at the scenario of and I understand it's a homecoming game this week coming up.
Yes, sir.
All right, so it's homecoming, and you guys have a win. UAPB's looking for a win. Coach Coleman said what he said about how he doesn't think maybe the records will have an effect on how intense the game will be. But Coach, what is your take on that? Will the records have any factor on the intensity of this ball game, and then homecoming as well?
I hope he's correct, because after that performance, we've got to come back and like I said, and do a lot better from me on down to all the coaches, special teams, offense, defense, trainer, everybody to the last player on the team. We've got to get better, and there's 4 games left. We're trying to right the ship. We thought we had got it right a little bit last year. Now we're taking water again. So we've got to. This is an important game to us. Record. Forget the record of them. Forget the record of us. We're trying to win as many as we can in these last 4 to keep it going and to keep us back on track. Put it that way.
Okay. Do you see this as a rivalry game? Just you guys only being separated by 2.5 hours, and both of you guys being in the Delta.
Not exactly, but I think it should be more of a rivalry game, considering the closeness and both of us being Delta schools, and so and maybe that's something in the future that both schools need to push. I hope they bring a big crowd. I know when we go there. It's always a good atmosphere, and it's been homecoming. I think the last 2 times we've been there, and it's good to go out there and see all the RVs they got parked, and hopefully they'll bring some of those RVs this way, and like I said, hopefully our people come out. Homecoming, since I've been here, has been a good experience at Valley. People do come back. A lot of students do come back, and it's a special time. So hopefully that'll be the case, and both crowds will show up. And I agree that this should be a bigger rivalry type game. And I'm all for like what they do in the Big Ten as far as having all these different rivalry games, and they play for different items. I think that could be a way of promoting this game and getting the rivalry going and getting better support on both sides.
Sure. Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach, Rob David, Talking Sports. How you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Coach. Earlier you mentioned about the long bus ride to Houston. It's been widely known that Valley hadn't had the best of facilities. How have you and your administration, when you look at this boycott that just happened, how have you and your administration been able to keep your team from doing anything like that? That's a good question. Because, when I first heard of the boycott and all that kind of stuff, I was kind of dumbfounded. I've been to Grambling. I've seen Grambling. I remember when they opened that facility up back in 2002 or 2001, because I was at Alcorn, and I happened to be up there. I had a guy on the staff that I knew, and I saw the place, and I was impressed with it. I don't know what has happened since then as far as upkeep and maintenance, but if anybody's going to sit, if anybody has the right to sit out and boycott and protest, it's the players here in Mississippi Valley. We haven't addressed it at all. We haven't talked about it. Nobody's said anything. We're in a transition here with a new president coming in, I think, in a couple of months. And we got an interim athletic director here. So I was kind of surprised that those guys went that far. I thought it was good to have some solidarity and some unity and to be united for a cause. It's hard to get it's hard to get a team on a single subject like they did, and I was impressed with that. But I also thought, you guys haven't spent a day at Mississippi Valley, because I know Valley is far worse than what you got at Grambling. But we try to do the best we can. We try to be as top dollar as we can with the dollars we got, and that's what I tell the guys. We got a new
last year we put in a new locker room for the varsity. We got new carpet, a big logo on the floor. We got wood lockers, brand new wood lockers and everything in there. A couple years ago, 3 years ago when I first got here, we built ourselves a weight room. We didn't have a weight room at all, So I've been mindful of the fact that we don't have the facilities to attract students. Facilities don't win games, but they win student athletes. And so that's one of the things I've been pushing here. We got new uniforms this year. We got the numbers sewed on. We got the names sewed on the back. So we try to do things here with the limited resources that we have in order to keep our guys, as feeling as good about themselves as possible. We've given out more T-shirts this year. We took the Russell order and hey, let's give you guys. They said they didn't have gear, they didn't have stuff. We've given them travel shoes the last 2 years. Instead of just buying totally cleats from Nike, everybody's got the same pair of travel shoes they get to keep. And so we try, and we're very mindful of our facilities. And like I said, I can leave here, and if this job ends this year, I can become a general contractor somewhere at somebody's. I can start my own contracting company. There's a lot of stuff I've done personally that I can continue to do, and so we're mindful of it. And I think when the new president comes in, we're going to have to sit down and talk about the things that are here that we don't have. Like I said, we can't even argue the same argument that the other teams in the conference argue. I was at the conference meeting, and I heard a coach talk about ordering $80,000 worth of Russell gear. In the 4 years I've been here, we haven't ordered $80,000 worth of Russell gear in 4 years. And they were ordering $80,000 worth of Russell in one setting. So, a lot of problems other teams in the conference face. We don't have to. I came to down at the meeting and complain with the other coaches because my problems are not their problems. Their problems are a little bit different or a lot different. Like I said, So I don't make that a. I don't really speak out on it much because I don't want to sound like Coach Morgan's whining about what Valley doesn't have. All I know is what we got, and we try to maximize what we got, and we try to do the best of what we got, and we don't use that as an excuse.
All right, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to talking with you after your game, playing host to Pine Bluff for homecoming.
My pleasure. Good deal. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.